And this is another.
It is Dan Kopp.
Dan Kopp. Sorry.
Dan, how do you spell your last name?
K-A-U-P.
K-A-U-P-P. Okay. Dan, just for the rest of us you probably know our town folks here. The rest of us are members of the technology committee. Okay. So my suggestion to the members is that we hold off on voting in a vice chair for a few meetings at least, until we get a feeling as to what we're doing and how we're doing it and so forth and so on. I will be taking the notes and getting them to our town clerk and so forth and so on. If we have a vote, Brian, have you been sworn in? You haven't been. Oh, so it's only Bill Hayden that has not been sworn in, because Ron, you have been sworn in, haven't you?
Today, yeah.
Okay, great. So if we have a vote, Bill will not be able to vote.
Okay.
Unless
I swear him in.
Unless you swear at him. Okay. So with that, I think I should probably turn the meeting over to you, Paul, so that you can discuss what why Vancourt is here and so forth and so on. So with that, I'll turn to you to.
Okay, so Vancourt is
Excuse me. I'm sorry, Paul. One thing I do want to discuss with the members. Forgive me, because this technology committee is a committee. Most committees in town, in fact, I don't think there is a town committee that has signed a non-disclosure agreement. It was my suggestion, and I contacted Paul as our first selectman to encourage our committee to review and sign non-disclosure agreements, because I suspect that it's very likely that we as a committee will be reviewing some pretty important and confidential information that should be retained within the town. So with that, I suggested to Paul, and Paul requested a non-disclosure agreement from the town's attorney. So I have copies of that for all of the members. Kath, do you want to see a copy of this? I have an extra copy. Okay.
Just tell me when I need to leave the room.
Say again, sweet.
Tell me when I need to leave the room.
You got it. I understand. You don't need to leave the room yet. I'm certainly not going to ask you to sign this without reviewing it. And okay. Thank you, Ron. But before we get into anything technically sensitive, I think that we will be asking that you sign it. And it's going to be my suggestion that if you don't sign it, you won't remain on the committee. Okay. So, it's voluntary to the extent that we appreciate your volunteer service to the town, but it's pretty important stuff that we're going to require you to keep it to yourself. All right, Paul, forgive me for interrupting you.
No.
Your turn.
So Vancourt is our IT provider. They're doing all of our EDM, all of the monitoring of our traffic. We have an on-site technician that comes in once a week, working through, and actually is in my office right now working on an issue that I had pop up at 3:00. And so because they manage all of our hardware as well as our software to date. So that's the reason why we wanted to bring them in and share some of what they do to get you guys up to speed. If there is a chance, and I'm not sure, Jeff, how deep you're going to go, but if it looks like if we're going to start talking about some of the cybersecurity items that we've got, then Bert, I would suggest that we go into executive session. We'll shut down the live stream and then ask the public to leave. And I would strongly suggest that if we can get those NDAs signed
Right,
prior
right.
to that discussion.
We will ask anyone who isn't willing to sign the NDA to leave as well.
Okay. And so with that, I can turn it over to Jeff, who's our account manager.
Welcome. It's nice to meet everybody. Jeff Grandy, one of the principals at Vancord. Some background, and I'll let Lou take over after this. Vancord's been involved with the town of Woodbury now for 5+ years. And we are a managed service and security provider. So MSSP is sort of the, putting it out there, is what we are. We manage basically de facto IT department for the town. And we provide a variety of on-site and off-site support, including help desk services. Hey, I have a problem, break, fix. Project work. Hey, we're going to look to upgrade XYZ switch stack. Cybersecurity. We're going to implement new firewalls. We're going to implement new security features with software that we may already be using. And so together, that stack of different products and solutions that we provide the town is basically controlled through our help desk team, and in regular meetings with the town through Nairi and through Paul, and that's pretty much it. And we try to keep everybody up to date. Mostly once a year, twice a year, we get called in to do presentations to keep everybody sort of in the pulse of what we're doing. We work with a lot of other towns. We've been in business for over 22 years. We have a variety of certifications that we work with. So we work with other towns. We work with their police departments. We're CJIS certified. We work with cities. We work with Board of Eds. And we have a whole commercial space that we work with a lot of private companies. So we have a very kind of broad mix of clientele. So that allows us to see a lot of different organizational strategies, a lot of different applications of cybersecurity, compliance, things of that nature. So it's, and these folks will tell you first out of the gate, there's a lot to doing it. Even with a small town, there's still a lot of day-to-day kind of functions that we have to handle as part of the MSSP platform. So my background is network engineering. All these guys come from a technical background, and a variety of discussions we can have as we go along. I would just suggest that for the first initial meeting, we probably won't get too far into the cyber piece of it. It might be certainly come back and prepare. And if we need to bring a security engineer, probably better planned if we do that too, just so that we're not, there's a lot of stuff that we do here, as I just mentioned. So we could spend an entire session just on security, and we'd be happy to do that for you folks. So, Lou?
Sure. Thanks, Jeff. Just for an introduction, I'm Lou Artolino. I'm the VP of Client Success here at Vancord. I work hand in hand with the sales team and the security and engineering team. So I'm the go-between between both. I'm your client champion on the Vancord side. I ensure that we are fulfilling what we're obligated to contractually. I am here to ensure that the town and the employees of the town have a very good experience with us from an IT perspective. Before I continue with the agenda, I would like Dan to introduce himself as well.
Good afternoon. Apologies again for being a couple minutes late. But Dan Koff, overall responsibility for all of service delivery at Vancord. So the engineers that support the town roll up to me, both from a service desk, help desk perspective, as well as the cybersecurity folks and strategy and compliance and any project work. Happy to be here. Happy to answer any questions as well as we start to engage.
Thanks, Dan. Very few slides here today, but I'm going to introduce you to the team that works with the town. We'll get into what we support and how we support it, the services provided, and then how employees of the town are able to open up a ticket with us and what they can expect in a Q&A session. I will share this slide deck with you all after this meeting. It's meant to be a conversation, and please feel free to interrupt, ask questions as I go through. So without further ado, I wanted to draw your attention to this first slide, right? So we're here to listen, educate, and act as your trusted security partner. On the left-hand side of this slide is our team leaders, right? So you met half of them already. You met Jeff, you met Dan, you met myself. Some other individuals that are on here. Anthony Jimenez, he is our managed services director. So he oversees the team, and I'll talk about Team Bravo in a second. He oversees the team that works with the town on a regular basis. Underneath him is Russ Ford. He's our solutions architect. So we also do a lot of road mapping and future growth with the town. Russ is the one that puts together the solutions in tandem with Jeff and with Dan. And Bernard Bostic is our renewal specialist. He works directly with the town, with NYRE. He oversees our contract renewals from a software and hardware perspective. So on the right-hand side here, we have your dedicated account team. And these are the individuals that work with the town on a regular basis. So whenever a ticket's opened, whenever something needed, when someone needs to come on site, these are the individuals. And these teams are always led by a team lead, right? So on the upper left-hand side, Tarun is your account team lead. He's a senior systems engineer. He oversees the team with Johnny, Eli, and Jim. And I apologize that some of these slides got cut off. But Johnny, Eli, and Jim are the dedicated technicians and engineers that are assigned to the account underneath Tarun. Dylan is our service delivery coordinator. He oversees all the tickets and ensures that they're remediated in a timely manner. They're assigned in a timely fashion. And Taylor Howe is your dedicated security engineer. So every account that is under the Vancord fold always has a managed dedicated team assigned to them, but they also have a dedicated security engineer for any escalation of security services, any security questions, compliance questions. It goes to that individual from the security team. So that's your dedicated team from the management side of it to the to the down in the trenches side. Any questions?
You're missing Zach.
What?
I
You're
was
missing
gonna say
Zach.
that.
Yeah.
Zach is here right now. So.
Yeah, Zach is
Back, huh?
Zach is back. Okay, so how we help, right? So you have what's called an advanced support contract, which is kind of a soup to nuts, right? You can open up as many tickets as you want with us. There's no time limit on hours. It's based on a contract that goes through September of 2026. It includes the support of the entire network, support of all your end user base. It includes all the after-hour support tickets that are opened up with us, unlimited hours per contract for the support. We do remote monitoring on your network devices, network equipment, firewalls, infrastructure. And we do provide monthly, quarterly, and weekly updates on devices on your account. We do all the patch management on the devices, on the servers, switches, and firewalls. It includes on-site and remote support, including an on-site technician once a week, and all the management of devices under contract. All the locations on the Woodbury, the town campus is included. We do semi-annual or quarterly business reviews. And like I mentioned before, Jeff and Russ work closely with NYRE, and we help build out technology and strategic road mapping for the town.
Lou, I'm sorry, go ahead, Tom, just quick. Under technology road mapping, does that include like technology refreshes?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a cycle for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we typically budget every year, conjunction with the town, to come up with identified hardware that needs to be replaced and the life cycle. We just got through a fairly large one last go around, so but that would include endpoint hardware, desktop laptops, switches, wireless. Whenever we get called in to CDN for the ISP upgrade, firewalls, servers, SANs.
So is that coming up?
No, it's done at, the schedule we have is done at, we have an updated warrant, like an asset list that we can go through that tells us when it's due. The town's very good about keeping all their assets under warranty, and they're also very good about getting a lot of life out of their warranty. So we, like like to make sure that like some of the corporate clients will switch 4 or 5 years into an upgrade. The town's closer to 7 or 8 years on that upgrade cycle. Endpoints are different. Endpoints are kind of dictated by the current OS. Paul's very familiar with this discussion. The Windows 10 to Windows 11 update was a big push for the town. We did a lot of upgrades physically, like through physical devices and also through imaging of old devices. So,
And most of the switches have all been replaced, so they were all going into service with truly end of life, no more updates. So we actually invested $100,000 last year in redoing all of our switches. All right, and so pretty much everything, all the wireless has all already been set up as well. So
So I assume with like, let's say service level agreements, you've got redundancy on all the infrastructure.
you know, redundancy, redundancy where the town has redundancy and the town doesn't have much redundancy.
no.
Um,
Two questions. So I just want to understand, are we treating all the refreshes as hardware as a service, or it's additional invoicing for hardware?
It's capital projects.
Capital, okay. And your support commitment, is that 24/7 or is that
24/7.
24/7?
24/7, 365.
Right.
So we have an on-call shift after regular business hours. But it's funny, we do hardware the hardware as a service is becoming more popular now.
Yeah.
So we do shift to that. For some places, this town prefers to do
Sure.
capital allocation, but we do hardware as a service. That is an option.
I do have a question. We've just asked our volunteer technology committee to sign NDAs. Does Vancourt have an NDA signed with Woodbury?
We do. It's actually part of our contract.
Okay.
We don't do any contracts without NDAs.
Okay.
So
Kathy, did I see your hand up? Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Louis.
All right, so I know it's a word chart here, and I apologize for being less wordy, but if you could just draw your attention to the underlined sections, and if you want to go back and read through, but these are the services that are provided under the contract, and I'll start in the upper left hand side, and we'll work our way down. So, like I mentioned before, server and virtual infrastructure management, monitoring of all of our critical OS metrics. Standard patching, validation of those patches, and monitoring of the hosts in your environment. Edge management, we're talking about the firewalls, right? Monitoring those critical metrics, making sure that those firewalls are updated with proper firmware when needed, right? We don't willy-nilly patch firmware on network devices unless it's a tried and true firmware patch, because it could bring a network down. So we do monitor and patch the firewall at the edge, as well as network core management, right? Managing the switches and the network and monitoring the network up, down, and again, patching those switches and making sure all those backups for the firewalls and the switches are always backed up on a monthly basis. That's part of our monthly management. Backup management, we are very we're really persnickety about monitoring backups, right? Our team is assigned a weekly backup monitoring ticket. They are going in, verifying, testing, running the backups, making sure the backups in your environment are working on a weekly basis. There's also alerting that comes out of the vendor backups. We do monitor those as well. But our teams are always proactively monitoring and managing the backups. We would verify the backups. That's crucial for a customer of ours. And then any 0-day and critical security patching. So some days, Dan, can you talk a little bit about the 0-day patching a little bit?
Sure. So it's particularly on the edge or anything internet facing servers as well. We'll get alerts from all of our vendors if they have what's called a 0-day. For the technologists in the room, I'm sure you're aware of those, but that's where someone somewhere uncovered a vulnerability that's a pretty big deal, critical or high, they call them in the industry, which means that if you have that particular operating system and piece of hardware that an attacker can gain access, typically root access to your stuff. So we take those pretty seriously. We communicate to customers immediately, and then we have an SLA in place to address it within 24 hours through either a patch as soon as that's supplied by the vendor, or sometimes there's remediations that aren't a patch, like close the port, for example, or change permissions or deny something some other way. So that's our approach on zero days.
As we get through this, I just want to make a comment because we're going to be on public record right now. We're going to not talk about the vendors that we use, like specific names. We'll be happy to talk to you offline or an executive session about that, but we're not going to get into specific brands and models. But we're happy to do so in another session.
24/7 support. I know that question was asked before. 24/7 support from the NOC and service desk, and also from our SOC, from our Security Operations Center. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Underneath that is endpoint support. Not a lot to say about that. We're managing and patching and working with all your end users and endpoints in your environment. Our team is there to help support all of your endpoints in your environment. So now, from a security perspective, right? We have what's called our Vantage MDR product. And Dan, you can help tag team on this with me, but it's managed detection and response on all the endpoints and servers. So it's a significant level above your standard antivirus. It is looking for behavioral abnormalities in your environment. Someone's trying to log into your server at 4:00 in the morning from a nation state that we know is a bad actor. Someone clicks on the phishing link. Someone clicks on a document that is incorrect, or someone actually accesses a website they shouldn't. This tool is running on all the workstations and servers, looking for those types of behavioral changes in the environment. Some end users' domain credentials gets elevated to admin user for no reason whatsoever. This tool is monitoring that, and when something like that happens, the software will create a case, and that case will be escalated to our Security Operations Center. They will look at it, and they'll either, if the software remediates it automatically, or our team will jump on it and work to remediate it, whether they need, like Dan mentioned before, close off a port, shut down a machine, isolate a machine on the environment. It's 24/7. And if there is a critical case, a ticket is created, because it is integrated with our help desk system and our help desk team. That's what the MDR product is. And finally, the security awareness training and phishing campaign. So that's the, managing the human element in your environment, ensuring that your end users are properly trained on what to look for in the security landscape. So every quarter, the individuals will get sent a training link that they can follow, and it's not a phishing link. It's a real link. And they go and they follow like a 5 to 8 slide presentation, and it talks about the latest in the security landscape that in that time. How to detect phishing, how to know what how to know what a bad link is, those types of trainings, and then there'll be a quiz at the end.
And who gets this awareness training sent to?
Everyone in the town.
All the employees?
All the employees. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then you get to take like a 3 to 5 question quiz, and you pass the quiz. It's great. Every month at random, employees are sent a fake phishing link, whether it's from LinkedIn, from Facebook, from wherever, and it tries to trick them into clicking on the link. So it's usually based on the training from the quarter before. If they click on the link, it sends them to a landing page that tells them what they did wrong, and essentially it's ongoing training throughout the year. So those are the services that we provide under the contract. That's a lot. I said a lot of words. Any questions?
maybe not so much now, but when we get like cybersecurity, I'm just curious, like if you had a ransom attack, how did you handle that? Like if we had a ransomware?
Sure. I'll defer
We
to,
can get into that.
Maybe not now.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Disaster recovery and overall, like,
Yeah.
bigger conversation.
It is a bigger conversation. But back to one of the points that Lou made, testing your backups and having what we call an out-of-band backup is one of the best defenses against. Right? I mean, we have all the security elements in place. We'll get into all of that, but you know, every solution is 99.9, and you can't solve 100%.
Yeah. And it's always the fear of like if there was software that was installed without people knowing and then software's backed up, even if you do a restore, you're still restoring.
Yeah, and we can get in. I mean, a big part of our security team, cybersecurity team, is forensic SMEs. So we have folks that will tell you within minutes when the attack started, and that the outcome, the specific outcome of that is restore point. So we're really certain. MDR is a big part of how you would determine that. But then, you know, there's a couple elements that we've been suggesting on the roadmap as well that would actually boost that a little bit. So yeah, we can get into all up in the weeds if you, when the time is right.
Paul, do town employees have access to town information via just town hardware, or do they have access via their personal cell phones or what have you as well?
Yeah, so you can access through Microsoft 365. You are able to access, like on my device, but if to get onto the actual network itself, you need to VPN in.
Okay.
Okay. So I can't. So in other words, I'm at home, you know, and I plug my laptop in at home. I can't get to the hard drive unless I go through a VPN to get in.
Okay.
But I can get my email. I can do, you know, the Microsoft 365 stuff. All of that can work.
Okay. Got it. Any other questions from anyone?
these are the cybersecurity services that are offered that we are not providing to the town at the moment. So I'll briefly go over them. So to the left-hand side, really, it's the ISO, Virtual Information Security Office, which is an actual security office of compliance engineers that we have on staff. Regular penetration testing and vulnerability assessments we do provide. We do provide documentation creation, so your IR response plans, your disaster recovery response plans, your AUP plans, your written information security policy creation. We also can monitor the dark web for you, as well as tabletop exercises, which is a simulation of a cybersecurity event in real time. You do have MDR, EDR already. We do have containment and restoration services, and you already have the 24/7 SOC. So accessing us, how to reach us. There are 3 ways to reach us, and the 3 ways the town employees can reach us is simply to log into the portal, which is an interactive portal that allows ticket creation by the end user to create a ticket. They can see who's been assigned to the ticket. They can add notes to the ticket. It's a little bit interactive. You could put the request type, the priority. The second way is to send an email. You send an email to helpdesk@vancourt.com. That will get routed the same way as logging into the portal, and our team will create a ticket in our system from there. And the third way is to call the help desk, that phone number there, during regular business hours and also after hours as well. The best way to reach us after hours is actually to call us. We do have 24/7 support after hours. That there's an on-call line that's being manned after hours, after the hour of 7 p.m.
Have the help desk hours changed recently?
We have crews on both ends of the days. That's why I put 7 to 7. you most likely will get. Yeah, it's kind of changed over the last year.
Okay, well, I know we had a issue with people accessing the T drive, and I know I was calling everyone I can think of, and we were getting, we're not open right now message, and so we had to wait till like 9, I think.
You know when that was? How many days ago? Weeks?
Month and a half ago.
I can dig in on that.
It was after a patch, right? I think that's what the issue was. There was a patch that was made and it blocked everyone.
But it's a Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Undocumented features.
Yeah, right.
But you should be able to get a person no matter what after I was even if you call that number. So
Oh, I started calling cell phone numbers.
but you can
Did you not go through the because our system has an out paging, like it's a whole
Yeah.
system that
I
paged
could
out.
not get anyone.
On the on page.
Believe me, I was calling your direct cell phone number. I was calling your direct cell phone number. I had Francesco's number.
She even called my number.
Well, to Jeff's point, through the phone menu, if you select the right options, it will actually route to the on-call engineer.
Yep, and I believe there was
Anytime.
something where it was like we were currently closed. It was
That must have been so somehow you got into the wrong option, I would say, because it should never say that for the service line
Yeah.
specifically.
and there was a couple people that were calling. So, Teresa's like, oh, I left a message. I'm like, no, we need to get a hold of someone. So I called, and then I said, then I was just calling random. I was like looking up Vancord emails, like who's can I call right now?
We can look into that. That's not typical. So
It's really not.
And that's why I just asked about the hours, because it was definitely like people were alerting me first thing in the morning, and we ended up waiting till like I think it was 9:30, something like that.
Now, we do have a crew on early. It's a fairly sparse crew, so there's only a couple of technicians in before 9. And if both their lines are busy, then it would route you to voicemail, and that's maybe how one of the other individuals made it to voicemail. But if you can give me a specific date, that would make it even easier, because then I could look at our phone system and determine exactly what happened.
So, I mean, dumb question, but Eastern Standard Time.
It is, yes.
We're daylight.
yeah, I was just gonna say we can get them to agree on one of them. Irene was right around it. It was-
So you just have to say Eastern time, whatever,
Monday
right?
after daylight saving, we're like we're UTC -5 or 4 or 6. I always forget which way do we go with that.
5 and 4.
Right, 5. I'm joking, but
Are you a pilot?
No. I'm just that's how we look at the world, UTC. So
April 9th.
we'll get you an answer on that. And feel free, you don't have to wait for these meetings. You can always contact me, or you can contact Dan directly, or Lou. We're always, we don't want to wait on that. If there's a problem, especially if you're the one out of 10 calls, you're the one that gets that. We want to know that there was a routing issue with our phone system. So
Well, I just assumed that you opened at 9, so seeing the 7 to 7, I figured, did that change over last month?
I don't think you updated this slide correctly. I'm just kidding. No, we're trying. We have a lot of new folks joining us, and we're kind of spreading the offense. So we're trying to kind of as best we can. The state of Connecticut. These are native Connecticut people, not like outsourced people. Probably a good point to make. These are Connecticut people that are answering the phone in Connecticut. So this is outsourced somewhere else across the country, and so we do our best to kind of split that current time zone as best we can. So
Are they like other support people working the 12? Or are they going to be like, my time is up, I'm going to transfer you over to somebody else?
That's pretty rare for them to transfer you to someone else. I won't say it doesn't happen, but where overtime is authorized. I'll
Yeah, I was
pull
gonna say,
that
they're
out of my archive.
they get paid more if they.
Yeah, so it would be rare for them to want to do that. And honestly, customer first mentality over there, so they would run it down all the way.
Even if it was transferred, they all have the same system. They all can
Yeah,
see the history.
absolutely. It all goes in the tickets, and the tickets are,
We see
we
everything.
live and die in the ticket system.
Is there anything else that anyone in the committee wants to ask Vancord at this point?
In a general sense, no, but maybe something for executive session.
I'm happy to leave if you want to go into.
We're not ready to go into executive session, Kathy. I'll throw you out when we're ready.
Al will kick you out.
But we're not ready to go into an executive session. I don't think we'll be ready today to go into an executive session. Only because we haven't gotten everyone's signed NDA. I don't want to force anyone to sign an NDA without reviewing it and understanding it and so forth and so on. Perhaps even having, someone review it with them. So it's
Excuse me, may I add on to that? We have a bevy of, documentation, network documentation by each site, very, very detailed. And we can share it with you, but we can't give it to you. The town can give it to you, but we can't give it to you. Like our insurance will not cover that. I said that tonight, Reed, but we're willing to share that to show you if we walk through it. That obviously is now we're getting into the executive session piece of it. So, but if we plan for it, we can get through the level of detail.
And actually, that was what my next suggestion was going to be, is I think as a technology council, you ought to take a look at what are some of the questions you might have for Vancord, right? And then what we can do at that point is give them a list of questions, let them prepare for it, bring them back, and then you can start right into executive session and go through that.
I agree with that. And I'm strongly suggesting that we don't even worry about executive session today.
Yeah.
So let's understand that and move forward such that we can move forward in a uniform way. So with that, does anyone in the committee or anyone in the room have any other questions for Vancord? Because I'm sure they'd like to leave, when we don't have anything.
Hey, you don't have to worry about the school buses now, Jeff. They should be.
I have one question. Is there any software that's managed other than like operating systems and security software, like application software, for example?
It depends on what you mean by managed. We certainly through break fix through the service desk, help town employees if they have an issue with, like, say, Adobe Print or whatever the town uses as far as the your main application. I can't remember.
Nitro.
Tyler or no?
So
Nitro, yeah.
We'll solve issues
Tyler,
related to that, right? Because sometimes it relates back to something happened on the network. So we do that kind of application support within our remote monitoring and management system. We can also patch third-party applications, but the list of that is limited to like Adobe or Silverlight, or so it wouldn't patch like the Nitro system, for example.
Or Tyler, we would be going back directly to the software
And,
vendor
yeah.
and having them do the work.
We certainly proxy for the town to those application vendors because that's usually what it requires because they need someone that speaks tech, and we do that.
And there's no one here in the town that does IT, so they do all of our administration for our licenses for like Microsoft and Endpoint and the security training. So they manage all that too.
Randy, do you have a question?
Yeah, just in a general sense, I spoke to another town employee that in one instance received what they thought was a phishing email, and related to me what the procedure would be to report that to Vancord. What is your suggestion, your procedure for reporting phishing?
So most of the time, folks there's a couple of different things they can do, right? So they can report it within Outlook, which is good because it will train the system directly.
With a phishing button specifically?
Yeah, exactly. The phishing, I think there's a phishing button.
There's a
Report
reporting, and then either block or report phishing.
And so that will train it over time, right? Because we won't get into vendors, but that's the way that software works. And that's good. They can also, in addition to doing that, because we always suggest they do that, they can open a ticket and tell us, hey, saw this. If it's a more widespread issue, our ticketing system will find those things automatically, which is super helpful for us. So we do suggest that they open a ticket And then, if it's a big enough deal, we'll even talk to the town and ask you to send something out like, hey, we saw this and please don't click on it, kind of thing. I don't know that that's happened recently.
No.
We have been getting a lot of emails that look like they're coming from town employees. Like, oh, it looks like it's coming from an employee, but it's a different email address. Hey, I need my direct deposit changed. We see a lot of them.
Yeah, unfortunately, by nature of the town's presence on the World Wide Web, it's super easy to do that from
Yep.
an attacker's standpoint, right? And it's really easy to determine your naming convention, right? It's always going to be like first initial, last name. So it's really simple to spoof something like that.
And a follow-up, I guess, in this particular instance, this employee related that the common procedure would be to forward the email to somebody in Vancord, which I strongly suggested would not be the right procedure or forward it to anybody in the town, because then you're putting your domain behind it and saying you're essentially attaching that to your email address and maybe giving it some sort of
Well,
false legitimacy.
Yeah.
I
would say it's better to send it to help desk at Vancord. We have proper protections in place so that they could literally send us anything and we can sandbox it and not be affected. Plus, we have to know how to do that. I think some of the town people, because they see the tech like Zach wandering around, they do engage with him directly. We always say, for kind of the reasons Nairi was alluding to, that always go to help desk, because then we have a ticket, right? We know what's happening. We can look at the phone system. Folks take vacation. Folks are sick. If you email Zach might not respond, and you might think, man, Zach is really not great, right? But in reality, he's just out for a couple days or whatever, right? But we understand that sometimes the townspeople view that as a quicker means to an end, and it's cool and it works.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to clarify what the procedure should be so that you guys aren't exposing yourself unduly to
Yeah.
phishing.
Yeah, I would never
That way.
suggest they just blind forward that around the town. Hopefully no one's doing that. And if we ever see that, we try to put an immediate end to it.
I know when I asked, they just said to hit the report phishing. It's kind of funny because you hit it and it just seems to go into like nowhere land.
Yeah, out
So-
into the ether.
Maybe like better would be like a screenshot to helpdesk@vancord.com.
And we have employees that do that. Yeah, it sort of runs the gamut, right? Like that would probably be a good maybe campaign from an email perspective.
Should they do both? Like if they're hitting the phishing button, should they also send a screenshot? Because we can send that out to the communication out to department managers.
That's helpful. For your garden variety fishing, we won't do much, to be honest with that. It's when we see that a lot of folks are falling victim to it, or that the payload is super malicious, then we'll take further action to protect you guys. But yeah, the screenshot, report phishing, take a screenshot before you do it, and let help desk know is the perfect answer. Yes.
There you go. You have something for your notebook.
Next department meeting.
Right. If there's nothing else for Jeff, Lou, or Dan, I think we can thank you folks and excuse you.
All right.
Go home and
Go to our next meeting.
well, I suggest go home and have a beer.
It says I might not do that in the winter. So I might need a few.
There you go. So thank you all, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you all again.
We have we brought you guys some office stuff. So Lou, you wanna? It's behind you.
Yeah.
I get there, but I can't get around everybody. So we didn't know who we were dealing with, but we actually got 4, which is amazing. So we don't need
No.
be useful for your committee work.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
There's a first aid kit in here too.
In case it comes to fisticuffs, huh?
I'm gonna give you this, that way you can go shopping.
Pay no attention to the executable.
Just feel bad you're here taking notes.
Exactly.
What? Do you need this?
I can plug it in if you want to see the, what's going on with, hey Jeff, good seeing you again.
Oh, Paul, that was good. All right, there it is.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you.
And there was
Very
a-
nice.
Yeah, I don't know who's
It's
that
a
is.
van cord.
Nice to meet
Yeah.
you.
It's probably
I
Zach.
think it's
Yeah.
Zach.
Oh, is that
Zach's.
Zach's? This
That's
is his
probably
too.
why he was going back and forth.
Drop it in.
There you
He's
go.
waiting
He
for
was
us
out
to-
for the day.
Thank you.
He was
Thank
here today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excuse me.
I didn't get you.
No, that's okay.
I'm gonna say hi to Zach. He's in my office if you want to go.
New selectman.
Yeah, he's trying to fix
Thank
my
you. Very
problem.
nice to meet you
Yeah.
guys.
Very
Sorry to
quick.
get to your side of the table. Very nice. Great questions.
I got better ones.
We got better answers.
Oh, Dan, sorry, thanks.
Nice to see you.
Nice
Take
to
care.
see you.
Thanks. Hello, see you again. Thanks.
Thank you. Paul, when you sign those, it'd be helpful to get those,
Sure.
get a copy back
Yes, I will do that. Yeah.
to all of us.
I was starting to wonder if that's why I gave you 2 copies. One was my breath.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Oh, they're like,
I'm gonna
no,
be
not
doubly sure that the new guy.
Do I remember what I signed?
Oh, I've already got stuff.
Yeah, these
Help yourselves.
are much more comfortable.
So can we get Microsoft in here now?
Just to get back, I wanted to get them in and them out, but just so we have an accurate flow, we do have minutes.
Yeah.
We don't need Paul for this, so we do have minutes that we should review and approve. Let's see, we can approve it because we have a quorum. So is there a motion to approve the minutes of April 21st? One of you say. And second, okay. Discussion, any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Are there any opposed? Okay, so the minutes for April 21st are approved.
So Burke, within those minutes,
Yes,
there were the Van Cord.
I'm misspelling.
No. Is it, I guess we're approving that as well, or just the minutes?
No, we're just approving the minutes.
Okay.
Just approving, just the minutes.
Just the minutes, all right.
Those were sent out, the Van Cord, that Brian, you did that, didn't you? Yeah, you did a great job on that. And I'm going to, that's where we're gonna say. Perhaps we ought to start with, where do we go from here? The three of you,
I think we need to develop a list of questions that we need to ask specific to the documentation that we received from Vancord. To go forward.
okay? And in order to do that, we're gonna all have to, sign the NDA.
Where do we stand on that?
The 3 people have signed it, and you will have to review it and sign it.
It's already signed.
Have you signed it already?
I have.
If you've signed it, we can have, the only person that will have to sign it is Phil, because he's not here tonight. So we can have a discussion if we want to have a discussion requiring specific confidential information. We'll ask Kathy to leave. So So whenever,
Your call.
are you prepared to?
I can sign these right now and,
Well, no, we're all set. You don't need to sign them.
okay.
They've signed them.
Yep.
They've agreed to the NDA.
Yep.
We can go into executive session if you're prepared to go into an executive session and discuss things that should be confidential. I'm
As
just
far as I can answer questions and Irene can answer questions, be happy to do that. Some of it may be, we can then need to go into, we need Vancord to come back in, right? So, but that would be, probably one of our next steps anyway, of trying to figure out what is it that you need from Vancord from a confidential standpoint.
Brian, are you prepared to ask any questions you think that are confidential at this point?
I am.
You are, okay. Then I think we're going to ask you to leave. Yeah.
I told you that.
I know,
Okay.
we do thank you for your desire and your interest. By the way, guys, I have to tell you that she is one of the persons, she and Paul are the,
And Andy.
and Andy, who is not here, not part of this team, are the reason that this committee exists. So Kathy, thank you.
All I would ask is to get to work with our first selectman on an AI policy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be our hot button.
So, there you go.
Okay.
Get that from Secretary of State, so.
There you go.
All right. So with that, I will end the stream.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, would you close?
Yes. Yeah. Because Vancord's already gone. So yeah, you can lock that door.
Thanks, Kathy.
All right. And I am ending.
Bye, see ya.
I am ending the stream. And
And